I'm going to tell you some stories.
I'm going to tell you some stories. There are many lost characters, stacked away, silent. They only come to life when you listen.
It wasn't far from every Wednesday. American sailors, the adult tea dances everywhere on a Wednesday afternoon. So you go on a Wednesday afternoon, then you go to Grafton at night, because the Grafton was the main place for all the sailors to go.
You may be wondering who we'll find today. We'll see. Something is coming into focus.
Jack Johnson. Now there was a character. Jack was born in the 1830s. He joined the army. He fought bravely in the Crimean War in the 1850s. He got wounded at the Battle of the Alma River, where half of his right ear was cut off. After he left the army, Jack then went to sea, and he was a merchant seaman sailing on fast clipper vessels between the United States and Britain. Then, when he'd had enough of the sea, he decided to come back to the Waterloo area where he lived, and he became a gamekeeper on Crosby Marshes.
A hermit? A part-time hermit? No, that won't work. Nipping out for a bit of baccy or a log from Mrs. Charlton's wood pile, or a stick of licorice, or oh yeah, something more strong. Who are you, Jack Johnson? Show yourself to me.
My name is John Johnson, but people call me Jack. I have a wife named Mary. I built myself a hut on Crosby Beach. Some people call it a hovel, but it's home to me.
A hermit? A wife? Horse? And a cart? What else have you got, Jack Johnson? What else?
We've only got a few photographs of Jack Johnson in our archive here at Sefton, and to some people maybe he's a lost character, but he isn't to us.
Some people call me a hermit, but I'll happily come round to yours for tea.
Figures are fading now. Blurry. Changing time. Might be time for a break now. Have a sandwich or sleep. Let me shine my light here.
The Palace Hotel, which was the largest hotel in the Southport Birkdale area, was built in 1866. It had more than 1,000 bedrooms, and it played host to famous celebrities like Frank Sinatra and Clark Gable, who stayed there after World War II.
Somewhere I haven't been before. Somewhere very large. Oh. I can hear the sounds of people bathing. Chink of glasses. Dance band. American accents.
During the war, the Palace Hotel was taken over by the United States Army Air Force, and it was used as a rest and recreation centre for its combat flyers who had suffered exhaustion and tiredness while flying missions over occupied Europe. The American pilots and crews stayed at the hotel for several weeks to rest and recuperate before they went back to frontline duty. By the end of the war, thousands of Americans had passed through its doors, and it had been one of the biggest centres in the UK.
All gone now. All gone. Fading. Golden mermaids. all in a row.
Post-war, the Palace Hotel was used as a film location, and in 1960 it played host to the Beatles, who performed a gig there. After the Beatles played there, sadly the hotel went into decline and it gained a reputation as being very badly haunted. That reputation still exists today.
Such loss, such sadness. I see a number changing into the figure of a man.
After the Palace Hotel was demolished, the only part of it that remained was the old coach house. The old coach house is today known better as the Fisherman's Rest pub, and the Fisherman's Rest pub was so named after the bodies of the victims of the great lifeboat disaster of 1886 were taken there. The place had been used as a temporary mortuary, and today you can go in there, you can have a drink and you can buy a meal, but beware, because the spirits of those lost seamen are still said to haunt the place.
Yes, the signal is getting stronger, but no sound. We can bring them back, can't we? If only for a moment. Like this, and this, and this.
This is Tennyson Street, where my great-grandmother Minnie lived from 1901 until her death on the 4th of May 1941.
The Blitz of 1940 and 1941 certainly took its toll on Bootle.
It just became part of your way of living, really. Something that you got used to, because you knew every night the planes were going to come over, bombs were going to be dropped.
Being a kid, you didn't expect anything. And next thing, there was all the noise, so my mother shoved us under the stairs. We didn't know what was happening. And then when we come out, we had no front door. It's gone.
On the night of Saturday the 3rd of May 1941, Minnie was babysitting her granddaughter. The air raid sirens went off, and as Minnie had no intention of going into the shelter, she took the baby down to one of her daughters who lived further down Tennyson Street. When Minnie got home, she was persuaded by her son that the safest place to be would be in the air raid shelter, so her and her son Thomas both went into the air raid shelter, but unfortunately only hours later it had a direct hit from a HE bomb and Minnie was killed instantly. Her house was left unscathed. My great-grandmother Minnie was then taken to Marsh Lane Slipper Baths, which at the time was being used as a temporary morgue. However, on the night of the 7th, the baths took a direct hit from another HE bomb and was totally destroyed. The site was filled with lime, and this came the final resting place for my great-grandmother Minnie and the 300 other bodies that were in the morgue that night. There is now a memorial marking the site that was made by local school children.
And that's it. It's all just a little bit of history repeating.
How long have you got?
As long as it takes.
Just come round any time, while austerity or generosity allows. No one's ever truly lost, you know, as long as we keep collecting, indexing and cross-checking. An archivist's work is never complete.
I think I might be fading now. I'm almost gone. Almost. Fading. Oh, I'm back. I want to tell you some stories.